morning. Thought I'd make a video because it's been like, what, a year? I appreciate everybody subscribing still. I see a lot of feedback and comments and whatnots and what you has its and bleepity bloops or whatever. So thought I'd give you an update because, I am riding still. In fact, I'm riding quite a bit. I'm doing about the 100 mile a day right now. Yesterday I rode into work. It was 19 degrees Fahrenheit. Riding my Scrambler 1200. So we're going to take a look at that. And we're going to go for a ride to work, I think. I don't know if I have a camera that's ready, but if not, we'll just capture after the fact. But, yeah, so I am getting up for the day. It is 4:30 in the morning, so I got to get to work. And, yeah, let's go at it. It's a beautiful 33 degrees and raining outside, so we'll have to break the rain gear out, and we'll go for it. And watch out, there's all this kid stuff. 3-year-old. Okay, that's a little wet today, a little rainy. And here she is, the tried and true. Well, she's not tried and true yet. She's still but a baby. Only has just under 11,000. I think it's like 10.5 right now. Let's see. Where are we at here? 10.576. So, and I remember I bought this like August last year. It was brand new with like 15 miles. So I'm riding it quite a bit. And as you can tell, it's not your traditional Scrambler. I've got this fairing on, which I tell you is essential when you're riding at 19 degrees or 20 degrees or pouring rain at 30 degrees. So it'll come off in the summer for sure. And I'm going to kill the battery. But, yeah, she's a gem. She's a good little bike. I mean, so you can tell I got the Thruxton 2-to-1-to-2 exhaust on it. Did some custom work on the foot pegs to accommodate the exhaust. I noticed some little bit of peg scrape now because they're a little farther up, but that's okay. I'm not killing it with this thing. It is quite the luxurious bike to ride. The 21-inch actually with these road tires are awesome. It's just a great riding machine. Rides all day long. So yeah, so I've got all sorts of stuff, things that are not traditionally found on a Scrambler. I am changing out the chrome tank. It's really nice. I like it. I ran the Bonneville tank for a little bit through this winter when it was really salty. Salt's starting to come off the roads a bit, so I've been using the chrome tank. But I've got a blue tank from a 19 that I'm going to put on. It's just it's got a dent in it right here, from the usual fork issue, and then it's got a couple scratches, but I'm going to use that instead of this so I can keep that in nice condition, because this bike, I'm guessing, will probably be at closer to 40,000 miles by the end of this season, at least over 30, and I'm guessing in like 3-4 years it'll be over 100,000 miles if I go project at the mileage I was running on my T120. So this will probably be another 100,000 mile Bonneville 1200 that I'll put on. I just love this engine. The HP engine is a lot better, in my opinion, than the Bonneville T120 engine. It has more torque, even though it's supposed to have less torque, or be less torquey. I don't know. So I put this custom guard on. This is just for rain, and it's a nice chrome guard. I made that. It's just way better. When it rains, no rain gets on you. I've got the fairing. I've got LEDs. I've got T120 chrome engine guards with lights. Just some fairings and plastics just to keep the wind and rain off you. I'm not sure. I'll probably remove all this stuff when it gets warmer, because it becomes too hot because of the engine. The top end does get really warm. The cylinder head does have some air cooling qualities to it. And then, so the exhaust, and then I'm using my T120 rack that I made on it. I'm using a T120 seat. This is my seat that I've got over now almost 130,000 miles on, over 130,000 miles on that seat. So it's comfortable. My butt fits perfect in it. So I'm just gonna keep sitting in it. It works for me. I removed the exhaust obviously, and then in here I've got my little charger. So this is where my battery pack goes, and it'll reside in there, and then I can just charge when I need stuff. What else have I done? I did a bar raiser, of course, and pull back on it. It's for comfort. You know, I've got everything I need on it. You know, there's a ball mount. I actually found my other GoPro mount. It was in storage. You know, I got my mounts. You know, and it's a fully loaded bike. I don't know. It is what it is. I'm trying to think what else I did to it. I can't think. You know, obviously I had to relocate the coolant tank with a 2-to-1 to 2 Thruxton exhaust. I gotta tell you, this exhaust is awesome. Once I've changed it, and I did a flash, and then I changed it and flashed it again, and that's way better. Way more air flows out of that engine now. I just did not like that. The 2-to-1's nice. I have it on the T120 now, but like on the side. But it just, after an hour or so, it just starts to irritate me. The heat, it just gets to me. I just don't like it. So yeah, yeah, this bike's been through the ringer, just like any other Bonneville I've had. The other Bonneville I had. What was the first thing? Kickstand broke, and then the rotors warped, and then the calipers broke, and then the master brakes cylinder broke. I think that was it. And then the harness fell apart, but I figured that out. But I did bring it into Triumph, and it didn't start. But I found out there was a loose connection inside the harness, and I sourced it down and fixed it myself. Just looks like something was not done correctly at the factory. But it's been pretty solid since then. It was about first few thousand miles I was having issues with it, and then it's fine. And the bike sat for, you know, over a year on the showroom lot. So what are you gonna do? I'm sure the tires were pretty bad. I've got them, and you know, if anyone wants a cheap set of tires, or if you just want to come get them, get them. But they were, you know, they had a flat spot because it just sat for so long. But yeah, I rent to road tires anyways because I'm gonna tour with this thing. So yeah, all right. So let's get ready for the day. I gotta grab my rain gear. All right. So I'm all loaded up. I'm gonna just sign off, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna follow up tomorrow. Later today, when it's warm and sunny. You guys can keep riding with me in the work on the GoPro, but we'll sync up after work, and we'll go for a ride, and I'll keep you guys, I'll just update y'all on what's going on for the year, and that be that. So yeah, here we are in the cockpit of the old Scrambler 1200, and yeah, it's a really sweet bike. I really enjoy it. It's been a decent rig. Hasn't really given me much for grief, and it just drives good, you know. Route 30 South. We're on the old Scrambler, and yeah, so let's just talk about some updates that's going on
Thanks for those that have subscribed. I've made a video in a while, and I apologize for that. I just don't have time. Work is all-encompassing. Being a dad is also pretty important and very taxing and time-consuming. And I just don't find the time to get to the computer to video edit. I just don't have the time for it. And, it's no dig to the Jedz Moto community. I really appreciate everybody and the support and watching the videos and your comments and, your likes, your subscriptions. I appreciate those. Certainly just don't have the capacity or efficiency and effectiveness to do that. But I guess what's going on in my world is, riding a Scrambler 1200 XE that I've really just modified the heck out of to basically ride every day on. And, I've got the good wind protection. I mean, I'm basically sitting in a bubble right now of wind, and you see I got these covers here. I got covers on the guards, and I've got these additional guards. So you can see how the rain kind of just oozes off to stay relatively dry and relatively warm. A lot of this stuff will come off when spring really starts. Right now it's a warm day, and I think it's like 43 degrees. I'm definitely plugged in. I've got my heated gear today and my heated grips on high. Don't have my gloves. I have actually a set of heated gloves that I wear as well. The other morning it was 19 degrees Fahrenheit and I rode in, so it was kind of important to have. But yeah, I mean, that's basically it, guys. I'm just all about riding, basically, and if I'm going to ride, I don't film, and I mean, there's not much to report, The T120, has 120,000 miles on it, 121 or whatever it is. I can't remember all the time, but, it's still running well. I've got that coming out soon with modifications. Very much not stock anymore. I just did a ZX6R front end and inverted forks. Did that because the front end is pretty much clapped out, guys, and 120,000 miles. What isn't clapped out on a motorcycle? So yeah, that's where that's at. I did manage to ride it. Not a big fan of the TOMCC front calipers. I'm gonna look at replacing those with the Nissans that came on the Concourse 14. I hear that there's actually a pretty common problem with the ZX6Rs is that year that the TOMCCs are just subpar in brake feel, and there's a lot of travel in the Master and until the actual brake starts to catch on. It almost feels like it's not bled properly. I followed up with the local shop, and they've confirmed that our Track A guys that's a very common problem with those brakes. So the best upgrade is just to go Nissan. So anyways, that's what's going on with that. I'll make sure to write a video or do a video of that, or maybe if I get a chance, you can see it. So yeah, that's what's going on there. I still got the Dirty Bird, the Goldwing. I rode that the other day. And then, I might ride that tomorrow. Who knows? And then I've got little Ninja 250, the ADV and the Ninja 250 that I use for the $1,000 bike challenge for the TOMCC. I still have that. I'm still working on that. It's just, it's in the shop now. I've got to do some oil changes and just make sure everything's up for that for the spring. And then, that's really it. Motorcycle wise, when I ride this bike and I compare it to my T120, it's just like my T120 feels like the economy version. Well, this feels more like an EX model, like if you're compared the Bonnevilles on 1200s as Civic models, I think you would consider like the T120 as like an LX. It's got everything, the whole gizmos and gadgets, but it's still rocking that basic, simple motor. No VTEC or anything like that. It's just a simple, basic 1200 motor which, you know, is great. And, but it's got the gizmos and gadgets and cruise control and stuff, but it's not got the super premium. Whereas this, I would consider more like an EXL. It's got the nicer VTEC high-end horsepower engine. The extra horsepower is noticeable. The torque is a lot more noticeable. It's actually torquier motor than a stock, the 1200 high torque. This has actually got more torque than the high torque. It just seems to come in a little, if you're above $3,000, like, you've got power. Whereas the 1200 HTs, you've got power north of 2000 RPM. So, you know, and top end fizzles out on the HT, where here it's definitely a lot more high end power, and it pulls right to $7,000. Not saying the HT doesn't, but this one just has more power for sure. So, you know, compare that to the 20. That's definitely the big difference there, is that you've got a substantial amount of power, comfort. Like at night, all these lit up, and it's really nice. There's just nice finishes that are nice. You know, the cruise control's in a different spot, so, you know, you got to get used to that. The modes are in a different spot, which is great, because you don't even want to touch the modes in the T120. It's like, you don't need to go into rain mode with the T120. You just keep it in the road mode, and it's fine. This bike, however, in the rain, I do put in the rain mode at full sport mode or even road mode. There's just too much power, and it will spin the tire out. You know, I'm not saying too much power, but there's a substantial amount more power. Yeah, so, I mean, I've got to say it's a decent bike. I really like it. I love the gauge and the cluster. Like I said, that's a premium function. It's got a lot more information, display features that are just nicer to look at. You know, you don't have that basic crystal display look. It's nice on the T120. It's nice to have those options. But I really like road mode. It just smooths the bike out. You lose a little bit of that power on the sport mode, but, you know, if I really want to chase it, I'll just switch back and forth. But road mode is more than adequate. Still much quicker than the T120, and it's just much smoother. Really have anything planned anymore. I used to go on this trip and that trip and Florida trips, this, that. I don't even go to Florida anymore. I don't think that's going to happen very much anymore. It's just having a child changes the whole dynamic, which is honestly great, because it gives you something a little more important to work for and look at. And then, you know, when she gets older and grows up, and I'll be missing these moments that I absolutely cherish of, you know, there's nothing like your 3-year-old daughter snuggling your chest, trying to get warm, and telling you how much she loves you. I don't think life gets any sweeter than that. And there will be moments when those times will pass, and I'll get back to riding a lot more. But honestly, folks, it's just, these are the priorities of life. And, you know, and it's not like I don't value your patronage, but I do value the time I have with my family. And I do value the service that goes into that. And I also do value the service that I do with my job. And I do with all the communities that I'm associated with the people that I'm associating with family and friends. Close family and friends. It's all about the quality of time. I guess once, you know, I turned 40 last year, and then I'm now going on 3 years of sobriety. I'm learning that time is a blessing, and it is not guaranteed. And this life is not guaranteed for a certain length. And that I'm going to take advantage of getting the best out of everything in life and optimizing the service that I do in life and to the people that matter the most are there and that I can synergize with. So that's basically where I'm at with the motorcycle realm. You know, I've got some great motorcycle friends, and that when we get together, it's an absolute blast. And I appreciate them and all that we do. And, you know, really thinking about my TOMCC family, the Triumph Owner Motorcycle Club. These guys are great. I absolutely cherish any moment I get to see them. And when I do get to see them, even if it's a surprise and I see like Alan and Tim, like, it's great. And it's great. You've got to find your group, you know, and my motorcycle group's really just coming down to the TOMCC group these days, and some handful of friends that I ride with locally. But yeah, that's basically it. That's the whole ball of wax these days. And yeah, that's it, guys. I mean, I'm gonna keep putting out some footage every now and then, and if you guys have a preference or, you know, input, feedback, comment, like below. The Scrambler has been a great bike. I'm definitely a diehard Triumph fan. You know, they're just fantastic motorcycles, and I really love how they ride. So I guess I'm now a Triumph guy, officially, 100%. And, you know, never been brand loyal really, but, you know, there's just something about, you know, a motorcycle that just rides like this, drives like this. So yeah, I'll keep putting the content out, keep you guys posted. Maybe I'll do some updates or reviews of things, but like, the Scrambler is not a everyday Scrambler. So when I do a review, you're going to be like, why is there a 2-to-1-2 on it? Why is there a rack on it? How did he get that to work without snapping off? And, you know, I've got that whole rear subframe totally beefed up with a giant metal plate. So that thing is not going anywhere. And the rack itself is also bolted to different mounting points. So, like, that rear subframe is not the pivot point. And, yeah, so, no, but like there's things like that, like, oh, he's doing it, I should do it too. Like, don't do it. Don't put a rack on unless you know what you're doing. But, you know, and it's like, you know, it's just where I am, man. Like, it's just what I do. I just, all about my path, my way. You know, I don't really care what people think. I just have no reference anymore. You know, I used to really be concerned about what others thought about and criticize and all that jazz, but I don't really care anymore. So, anyways, I'm gonna wrap this thing up here. You guys have an awesome time, awesome day. Thanks for tuning in. Thank you for checking in. I'll make videos and stuff when I can, or if I do, or it is what it is. You know, just we'll see what happens with the timing. Don't really have much for timing these days. And yeah, it is what it is. Appreciate you guys, and thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you soon. Best.